Um, Hello, fellow Nigerians. This is Adeniji Idowu. I hope I can do a quick video for all Nigerians, someone abroad to see in order to enable us make a very informed decision as regards 2019 um, elections in Nigeria. I'm going to title this team as Sowore, the King David of Nigeria. I have a reason to to go into the Bible and uh, see for myself who to compare this young man, Omoyele Sowore, to or with. I'm taking my verses from the scriptures, and I just want to do a quick read. I'm sorry, I'm having a call right here, and I'm also using this phone for the video. Maybe I should go inside and do that, but hopefully it will stay good for us. So, sorry, I'm trying to use this video. Use the phone. I'm sorry about that. But then quickly, I would like to see what the Bible says here. And I was talking about King James, First Samuel. It's First Samuel chapter 17, all through to chapter 18. And right there, the Bible told us about when God anointed Saul because of the crave for freedom of the people of Israel. But eventually, Saul messed up, and Samuel was yet praying for Saul. And the Bible made us to understand that God told Samuel to stop the craving, but rather to go and anoint another king while Saul was still the king. Because as far as God was concerned, it was done with Saul. To cut a long story short, God got King David anointed by Saul. So that tells us that though God was in Samuel, by God, King David anointed by Samuel, God was in Samuel, but despite the fact that God that was in Samuel, as spiritual as he was also interested in the government of the people of Israel. So Samuel for that once have to be practically involved in the politics of Israel, because God was not only concerned about people coming to heaven or living spiritual or living holy, he was also concerned about their well-being. God is always concerned about the well-being of his creatures. So for those pastors that think, oh, they don't want to be involved in politics, they don't seem to know their God. Honestly speaking, because if your environment is not good, you can't satisfactorily or pleasantly please God. So let us get that clear. So David was anointed, and eventually, before he was anointed, the Bible made us to understand that he was taking care of his father's sheep, and a lion came and was going to take one of the sheep away, but this guy ran after him and rescued the sheep. The same thing, a bear came, he rescued the sheep. He was doing all that not knowing what was ahead of him. And that is why I am seeing or comparing Omoyele Sowore to the David of the Bible. And we see the very miraculous that God was able to do through him. Of course, I know some people will quickly tell me, oh, is that the best you can talk about people in the Bible? Well, it was in the Old Testament. Yes, I know. But it was an example. So it could be another name, but I'm seeing Bible use David, so I'm using him as David. So eventually, the time came, and the Philistines rose up against Israel. The Philistines were led by Goliath, and they became a great threat to Israel. There are so much people to be numbered as armies of the Philistine, just like so much situations to be numbered as troubles of Nigeria. Economic instability could be part of the Philistine that was spearheaded by Goliath, which is maybe I would call it insecurity in Nigeria or corruption. So there were so many parts of the army. You saw economic instability as one of them, unemployment as one of them, poor road network, poor medical amenities, a lot of things. No proper housing, no proper insurance, no proper social environment, no tolerance, no love, a lot of indiscipline going on. But this army was headed by Goliath, who was the chairman of them all. And he said, well, instead of us fighting against Israel one-to-one, I mean, everybody to everybody, let's match it one-to-one. Whoever that can come to contest with me, I will kill the person. If I kill the person, the people of Israel will become our servant. If the person kills me, will become their servant. At that point in time, everybody was hopeless. Yes, just like the Boko Haram came in and Nigeria became hopeless, like corruption became terrible. And that's why you see some of these leaders, they are showing their hopelessness in the situation by telling you, oh, somebody messed up the economy 60 years ago. Somebody messed up the economy 48 years ago, 50 years ago. They will keep telling you that they are not capable. That is to tell you that the situation is above them. Okay, so that is when you see them complaining, because before you come into government, at least even if you don't know 100% of what is obtainable, you have an idea of what you are going to meet. Okay, so that is it. So they began to say, oh, when we came, the economy was dry. The economy was at regression or whatever. A lot of excuses, and that shows they can't do more than what they have. You cannot offer what you don't have. So the King Saul was perplexed. He was a soldier. He was well experienced. But seeing Goliath standing, given his stature, King Saul melted like salt under a rain. He couldn't do anything. He lost confidence. He lost clay. He was clueless. He became lifeless. He became confused. And even the armies around him, they couldn't do anything because the Goliath, nobody was ready to die for Israel, not even the King Saul. He couldn't place his life at the bet. Okay, so everybody was like, well, we have to be praying. They kept praying, nobody was there. And Goliath, for the Bible says, for 40 days, he kept going on and on. 40 days would be tantamount to 4 years, sometimes in some cases. It could be tantamount to 400 years, like the people of Israel in the wilderness. So it could be anything to us. But practically in Nigeria economy, let's try and see, just oppose stuff. So this man came up. He didn't just come up. Don't forget that before he was anointed, he was the least expected. The Bible says his father had 8 children. In fact, Samuel was tempted to almost anoint Eliab or Abinadab or Shammah. But the Bible said, eventually God told them until the last guy came in, who was busy outside, just like Sowore was part of the children of Israel. I don't know how many of his fathers, but I think he was from a very large number of family. But at the point in time, he was outside, just like David was outside tendering the sheep. He didn't just go to visit outside, he was staying permanently with the sheep. Just like this guy stayed in the US for about 17 or 19 years. So, for example, those of us who are trying to run along with him or just oppose with him, that's fine. But the truth is, if we really want to make Nigeria great like other Western countries, or even more than them, we need to know the nitty-gritty of how their systems worked. For example, you see government sending people outside for conferences and all those stuff. Out of the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, some of them will spend there. They are going to spend 70 or 50% of them for their own personal interest. So how would they be able to know what they come there to do? So when they come back, they come and give wrong information to the government, and they will implement it, and that thing will fail. Then they say, oh, let's do this, let's try another one. They begin to do try and error. But this guy has been in the US for about 19 years, so he knows just not what a visitor will know. He resided in that place, so he knows practically how it can work. coupled with the fact that he has a reporter, a Sowore reporter, which has given him a grace to be able to investigate, to do investigative journalism internationally. So for you to say it's not experienced will not be right, because he knows the bad guys in Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, he knows the bad guys in the US, not only in the US, in the world, because of the privilege of the work that he's doing. That he was able to do or is doing. So, and he knows what is making some countries great, which is applicable to our situation. So let's go back to the story in the Bible. So this guy was very busy. He was like forgotten. That was why Samuel had to ask his father, is this all your number? Doesn't mean you don't have another child anywhere? Because he was like a foreigner. Just like this guy was in the US with his green card, like a foreigner, like he's no more part of Nigeria. Okay? But he was still son of Jesse. Well, he's still in Nigeria. He has not become a citizen of the US. Okay, so to cut the long story short, he was anointed. And when the need came, the father said to him, go and visit your fathers, your brethren, and bring me greetings from them. He went visiting, and what he saw baffled him. His brothers that were in the army, 3 of them that were in the army of Israel, were as cold as ice. Why? Because there was a threat that the government of the day could not withstand. That threat, corruption, the threat of insecurity, the threat of joblessness, the threat of Boko Haram, the threat of bad road networking, unemployment, the threat of economic insecurity, religious corruption. They couldn't talk, not even Saul, not even his brothers. But before he got to them, he was informed that the country was under siege, and anybody who would deliver the country will be greatly praised. But you have to place your life on bet. So he decided to place his life on bet, having been informed about the situation, because of the compassion he has for his people, because of his feelings for other human beings. Yes, I believe and I know that Sowore is well passionate about Nigeria. Honestly speaking, I've not met him one-on-one, but I know he's well passionate about this country, Nigeria. It is somebody who has passion to be truly active, to be truly an activist in the situation of his community or country, because of the passion that Martin Luther King Jr. had. He placed his life on bet. He was an activist, but that was driven by his compassion, by his passion, by his feeling, by his love for his people, for the Black nation. So the same way I see Sowore today, because of his compassion for Nigeria. So to cut a long story short, because I'm thinking this shouldn't be more than 30 minutes. So to cut a long story short, this man became troubled in his heart. And it was like, no, this shouldn't continue. Israel should be the joy of the world. So why has it become the capital of poverty? Just like people say Nigeria is the capital of poverty, and yet there was a King Saul on the throne. Yet there were armies, there were policies, there were ministers, there were senators, there were governors, godfathers, all them. Yet none of them was able to bring down the Goliath. None of them was able to solve the ridiculous of herdsmen and farmers clashes. None of them was able to put a hand to Boko Haram. None of them was able to give Nigeria, the people of Nigeria free education. Practically, none of them was able to make our good roads good. None of them was able, for years of PDP, years of APC, all of them together, because it is still the same set of people with different faces. Okay, the same people with different faces. All the same set of people from independence till now. There's still the same set of people, just with little additions, little amendment. The same people, whether APC or PDP, it's still the same. Buhari, Atiku were both together. Atiku sponsored Buhari's election in 2015. It was a saint to them. That tells you they were the same. But now that he's saying, okay, let me go through our other branch, our other sister, our other face, which is PDP, it becomes corrupt to them. So tomorrow, if Tinubu leaves APC and come to PDP, it becomes corrupt to APC. Okay? So that is it. It's the same people. But the government of the day could not bring them down on their knees. They were melting. Even Saul himself was melting, just like Tunde Bashola could not do much. And the other interview I was watching, they said, is that the best you could offer? And his proposal was that for Nigerians to have light, it has to take, I don't know how many years it's going to take for us to have 24 hours, because they cannot give what they don't have. And even that which they told us is all fake news, propaganda. That's why I tell people, it doesn't matter what PDP says they are offering, bring it to the table, or APC is bringing it to the table for Nigerians. Shun them and trash them off. It's all fake news. It's all propaganda. So go back to the Bible. So when this man became a terror to the land with all his armies of the Philistine army, David said, well, I'll place my life, I bet. And first thing was to go and deliver his message to his brothers as his father sent him, and he went to them and delivered the message. Then he said, well, I heard something, that there's a threat. The land is so cold, the city is so quiet. And you know what? It's elder brother that should know his capacity. It's elder brother that should know his compassion for fellow human beings was the first one to quiet him. He said, I know you. It's because you are proud. It's because you are ignorant. It's because you are arrogant. It's because you don't watch your tongue. It's because you want to be involved in everything. It's because you are trying to gain cheap popularity. That's why you are here. This is not meant for you. You are inexperienced. You don't have we that are your brothers, we've been in the system before you were born. You don't know nothing about politics of human beings. You only know about politics of animals. Just like some people will tell Sowore, you don't know anything about politics. You know about activism. Tell me, take activism out of politics. Politicians will become terrible animals. Honestly speaking, it's because there are some people that they know we criticize them. Otherwise, they will be terrible than they are seeing them. So you can't tell me somebody who knows how to take care of sheep will not know how to better take care of human beings. If a man is truly a good activist, he will be a better politician. That's what I'm saying. If he knows that it pains, when they took a sheep, and he left 99, when a lion took a sheep, and he left 99 to run after, in order to secure the life of a sheep. He does not want that sheep to be wasted. He believes that that sheep will feel pains if it's been killed by that animal. He knows to become discouragement, a fear to the rest of them, and they run after him. If that man becomes a shepherd of human beings, the life of human will be more priceless to him. Honestly speaking, that's how I see Sowore. That's why Nigerian government, they don't have a price for your life, for the life of a fellow human being. The best they know is to compare a life of a Nigerian to that of a cow, which is baseless. So David placed his life on bet, and he said, well, I'm going to do this. After all discouragement from nose and craning, from families, from friends, he said, well, I will go and do it. And I believe I can. And the Saul, the king of the day before him, said, okay, fine. I'm going to equip you. I'm going to empower you. And he gave him his weaponry. He gave him so many things to make him capable. But the Bible said David tried them. They could not be proved. And he told him, well, I'm not going to be able to work with this. Because God knew what he was doing. Saul would have become the godfather of David. And becoming president would not have become possible. Or becoming the king would not have become possible for David. Meanwhile, that was why he was anointed. That was why he was sent away, taken from his farm to the city. That was why he was given birth to. That was why he was called. That was why he became an activist, so that he would be able to govern his people better. That was why he became a shepherd in the wilderness, so that he would be able to shepherd the people in the city. So thank God he rejected this and said, well, I don't need any godfather. Just like Sowore says, I don't need no godfatherism. It's hard, but I don't need it. And people say, oh, you without the support, the blessings of Obasanjo, without the support, blessings of Tinubu, without the support, blessings of so person, that person, you can't make it. But he had the support of God. And he went ahead, and the Bible says he brought down Goliath. In the same vein, I believe all we need is to support this guy and pray for him. If you truly love Nigeria, let's support Nigeria. Let's support Sowore. It's not for him. It's not about him, honestly speaking. It's not about him. This guy, I don't know him, like I said, personally, but I believe it's comfortable. Even the, what do you call it now? The popularity has gotten within this time. Ever before now, he was a Sarah reporter. Of course, we know. In the days of Abiola, we know him. To some of us who were a bit involved. So it's not all about him. It's about you. Honestly. It's about you. It's about you. And he has told us that he's going to give Nigerian government, workers, 100,000 naira. Let me tell you how that works. I read economics. And it's not trying to tackle one situation like the government is trying to do, basing everything on corruption. How can you say you are fighting corruption when you leave other equally important sectors unattended? That corruption you are fighting will be draining the other ones. Before you come to the other ones, everything will be, the corruption will be up again. So you're going to be imbalanced government. But when you tackle every bit, practically almost every bit, every set of the economy, that is when you can make it work for a country like Nigeria, because almost every fabric of this country has been eaten up by the cankers. The cankers of several things: corruption, indiscipline, religious indiscipline, all those stuff. So he said, when it comes to power, it's going to make 100 available to every worker. What does that do? If somebody has been paid 30,000 before, now he's getting 100,000. You know what happens? That person is going to want a change of life. He's going to want to have different kind of food at home. Maybe he has been eating only eba before. You want to, mix it up and blend it up. Get some eggs, get some scotches and all that to make things more better for him. And when he's placing demand on those things, then the supply of those things will increase. And if the supply is not, and as he's spending money to them, the employer is taking the money to employ more people get employed, more jobs is being created here and there. And before you know it, not only the Sowore going to be helping the government now, people that receive 100,000 will now be able to shoot out, spend more than they've been spending before, because as a man, they have led to spend within 18,000 per annum before, per month. Now they're getting 30, or now they're getting 100. Their spending level will increase. So also their savings level. But the more they spend out, the better it is for the country. Not only that, Sowore promises free education. It's terrible. It's very unfortunate. The government of this country, I want to think maybe they decisively decided not to educate people so that they will be poor forever. And those who of us who are opportune to do it, you are doing it at a greater sweat. That shouldn't be. So he has promised, and the way this guy is going to tackle corruption is the best way to tackle it. Not the way APC led by Buhari is doing it. That's not the way to tackle corruption. I wonder how people are tackling corruption from behind. You are asleep, you fold your hands, you see, you are aware members around or coming to your house, you fold your hands, or you leave your house, they come in and they took everything. After they are left, then you are saying, okay, you want to go and report to the police. I'm very sure you can't get everything back. After some years, the best way is to prevent them entrance into your house. That is the way to fight corruption. And the best way to do it is, if you are disciplined, you will be able to make your country cashless society. It will help a lot. If anybody is going to bid for any contract, like the woman they showed, and I said, they said it was, involved in corruption or whatever they call it, and it was mentioning the first lady's family as part of our team. It's because they have access to it. You don't in the US or some other countries, they don't need to see you before they give you their award contract to you. Honestly, it's faceless business. You don't have to, and that is what is aiding corruption. You see, Dangote of Kano collecting money. You don't need that. You don't need to bring. In fact, it is even illegal for you to pay money, certain amount of money on counter to any government agency. It's illegal. And why are they doing that? To prevent corruption. That is how to do it. Not to say, okay, leave them, let them take it, then we'll see, we'll now be sending, what do they call it, blowers around against them, so retreat. You get them, you can't get everything back. Best thing is to prevent it. And we don't want, there's a lot of things I want to talk about, but because I need to close this at exactly 30 minutes, I would like not to spend too much of your time on this. But the truth is this: Sowore is well able. For those of us who are saying we don't want to waste our vote, you have always wasted your vote. This is the only time your vote is going to count. The politicians, maybe you don't know, they know they're dealing with people that it is young people now. They know they can't do what they used to do before, because before they even do it, everybody will be seeing it all over the world. So it is not going to be the usual rigging they used to do. It is involving intellectuals. So this is the time your vote is going to count, and I advise you to please vote wisely so that you can come out of the mess that all these terrible leaders have put on Nigerians. They have sent away a lot of people away from home and made them to be like slaves outside. Some of us, no matter even how rich you think you are outside, there's no place like home. I want you to understand that. And if Sowore wins elections today, a lot of us, including my humble self, will go back to Nigeria. And we are not coming there to play. We are coming there to support the country, to make life better for every one of us together. But who wants to do that when these cabals are still there? Animals, human beings, clothing. That's ridiculous. And for those men of God who are saying, no, we are not going to support Sowore because he blackmailed me, I have a word for you. The Bible says if you were oppressed, if you were being jailed for what you did wrong, it's your fault. But if it was for the sake of Christ, take it as a good thing, or take it as a matter of goodwill. If what Sowore, I'm saying it to everybody, every one of them involved, if what Sowore accused you of, if you truly did it, or just did 50% of it, then it is your fault. Take it and get yourself going, get off it, and tell God you are sorry, amend your ways, and be back on your feet. Because it is even better for you to be corrected by Sowore or by even everybody in the whole world than to be in hellfire, honestly speaking. So, for those of us who are saying, no, I'm not going to let him be this because it's rude, the same way the brother of David told him was rude, he was arrogant, the same way they told him was arrogant. Sowore is not arrogant. He's only being, concerned about us all. We need to be out of this mess. Okay? And for those people who are saying, no, yeah, he has to be schooled in the Nigerian politics, the people who have been teachers in Nigerian politics, Tinubu, the rest of them, what would they teach somebody? Everybody, I believe, at least 50% of people in Nigeria believe that Ambode was doing good. And Tinubu, with his people, they said they wanted somebody else, and they took him out. And unluckily for Ambode too, he was eating the same carrot with them. Terrible set of people. Who will Tinubu teach that will be able to fight corruption sincerely? They want people they will put in power, and then they will be telling the person, oh, this is what you need to do. So it means if, let's say, Sowore knows me personally, let's assume he knows me personally, and I have a link with him, and my mom or my brother does something wrong, then I can go to Sowore and say, okay, it's my mom, please let him go. That is godfatherism. It's not going to help anybody. If your pastor does something wrong, if he can't be corrected, if he has not listened, checked himself, if he said he's too big to be corrected by the people of his congregation or even by CAN, let somebody correct him from outside in the face of the whole world, so that he will not go to hellfire. So for those pastors who are saying they will not forgive him, you are dealing with hell, honestly speaking. Some of you are dealing with hell. You better let God touch your heart. And for the likes of him, Mogalo, Drotoye, I want you guys to understand, it is unity that can defeat these people. And as far as I'm concerned, I trust, I believe, and appreciate each and every one of you. But I have seen something in Sowore. This guy is bold. And apart from the fact that you all are good, he's extra bold. He's ready to face it as it is. And you all need to support him. And I believe God will help you. If he gets there, you guys can amend the state. Maybe it's going to just be there. Change the system of government. Maybe it's going to be just 6 years per person. No more coming back. So whatever it does in these next 6 years, and you still have the interest, you can go ahead and do yours. Or it's not going to, Nigeria will not be fixed in just a matter of even 20 years. Honestly speaking, it will not be, though it's not going to be perfect because there's not going to be no perfect world anymore, but it can be better. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Thank you all.